Hello, it's me, Robin, with Simple Food, Simple Life. I've been marinating an idea in my mind. That's a scary place to be. Oh dear. My late husband always used to point to his head and he'd say, if you think it's scary out there, you ought to be in here. He was probably right. Okay, this is what I've been thinking about doing. This is a can of soup. This is a can of soup. Why am I yelling? It's not like you're not close by or anything. What we have here is a can of soup. It is Vegetable Classics Progresso Tuscan style, which I'm assuming those are Italian flavors, white bean. Okay? I picked this up at Dollar Tree. Now then, if I look at the back, it tells me all the lovely ingredients in it. And it tells me that this can, which if you ever notice when it shows the ounces, that's weight, that's not volume. Think about it. So it tells me that this can is 2 servings. So it's telling me that I can get 2 servings of a cup. So there's approximately 2 cups of soup in here. I can get 2 servings. Okay. Would you consider this 2 servings? And each serving is 130 calories. Okay, so, which I love this. It says per can it's 280 calories, but each serving of 1 cup each is 130 calories, which is 260. So there's 20 calories worth of soup that, I don't know, what are you doing? What do you do with that 20 calories of soup? I don't know. It's very confusing, I'm telling you. So, okay, let me show you something. Let me show you something. I'm going to zoom you in here. Now then, let's talk about the servings. Back in the day, if you were to go into a restaurant or cafe, you'd order soup. They'd ask you, do you want a cup of soup or a bowl of soup? So this is actually restaurant ware. This belonged to my late mother-in-law, may she rest in peace. And if you said, well, I'll just have a cup of soup. I'm just having a grilled cheese sandwich, so I'm going to have a cup of soup instead of a bowl because, you know, I'm a delicate flower and stuff. So this is what they would bring you. They would bring you a dish like this, and it would have 1 cup of soup in there. 1 cup. Now then, what if you were to say back in the day, oh, I'll just have a bowl of soup, just a bowl of soup. And this is what they would bring you. They would bring you a nice hefty bowl of soup, which this is a hefty bowl. It comes from Dollar Tree many years ago, by the way. So, you can have a cup of soup, bowl of soup. This can of soup would go into, this would fill this bowl. Heat it up, put it in the bowl. You have a what I consider a serving of soup. Or you could have these 2 little bowls there, these 2 little cups, cute little cups, and you could divide this between the 2, and then you would have 2 servings if you considered this a serving. Make sense? Most people are not eating this as a serving, although I have to confess I have had this as a serving when it was the last of the soup, and or I was eating a little sandwich with my soup. I was having soup and sandwich. That's what I would have. Okay, so that's what servings are. That's what you could expect to get from this can of soup, because this is not condensed soup. this soup you do not add water to. It's ready to go. Okay? Now, what I'm thinking about is, this looks like a lovely soup. It's probably delicious. I don't believe I've ever had a Progresso soup. My older daughter really likes the lentil soup. She said it's really good. I don't think I've ever tried Progresso. I may have, but I do not recall. So I'm going to say no. So, I've got this can of soup. So I was looking around and I thought, how can I extend this can of soup and so that I get more servings, but yet it's still nice flavor, it's still good, still tastes good, and but I can get more servings out of this soup. In other words, instead of one bowl, you know, maybe I can get 2 bowls. Okay? All right. So I'm going to open this soup up. Got a little pop top here. And I'm going to taste the soup before I do anything with it because I'm going to try to extend this soup. Smell. It smells good. It smells like vegetables. And on the label it says that with each serving little cup, you get 1/2 cup of vegetables. Okay, let me grab a spoon. And I'm going to give it a little taste out of the can. I'm just going to taste the broth here. It's thick. You can see that it's thick. Okay, all right. Well, that tastes good. It's not overly spicy. It's got an undertone of Italian seasoning in it, but honestly, it's a little bland, but that's just my taste. That may not be your taste. Okay? So, it says it's got white beans in it, but it also says that it's got water, Great Northern beans, carrots, tomatoes, tomato paste, and then it gives a whole list of things that it contains less than 2% of, which is onions, spinach, modified food starch, blah, blah, blah. Dried Parmesan. Okay. So, awesome. Now let's see. I kind of have a plan in my mind as to what I'm going to do. So, in a couple videos back, I commented that I was going to, I had used a can of green beans and a can of home canned small red beans. And small red beans are not like kidney beans, by the way. But I was going to use them in this soup because I was thinking about it at the time. And then I didn't get to them right away, so I put them in the freezer because I didn't want them to spoil. So they're still slightly frozen. That's okay. So I rummaged around in my grocery store pantry and I found that I had 1 can of basil, garlic, and oregano, diced tomatoes. Should we say basil, garlic, and oregano? I don't know. I suppose it depends on what area of the world you are from. I don't know. Tomatoes, tomatoes, potatoes, potatoes. I don't know. All right. So I had 1 can. I'm going to use that can. So that should bring some flavor to the mix, right? I've got a partial bag of seasoning blend, which comes from Dollar Tree. I mean $1 1/4 Tree. Onion, celery, red and green bell peppers, and parsley. That is what is in here. I have a part of a bag. I brought out some garlic, just in case. Perhaps I should bring out some Italian seasoning just in case. You think maybe? There. I'll bring that out just in case because I don't know. We'll see. So I'm going to take a little bit of olive oil here. I'm going to put it in the pan, although they say you shouldn't heat up olive oil because it causes it to become, I don't know, what's the word? It's not toxic, it's, I don't know. It changes the complexity of the olive oil. I have no idea. I forgot what the word is. Okay. So, I'm going to take some of these seasoned blend, put them in here, and I still have some left, which is good. Good to have some left. And I'm going to just kind of stir them up in this little kettle here. Let them get. Now, I could add some meat to this. I guess I could. I do have some Italian meatballs left. I've got 6 meatballs left. I don't think I'm going to cook them in here, but I'm going to keep the meatballs in mind in case, for example, I pour myself a bowl of soup. I can put a couple of meatballs in there and pour the soup on top. Well, that would be yummy. I don't know. I'm just thinking. So, I'm going to put a little salt in here. Now these are frozen, so we're gonna get some steam off of that. And I'm gonna put a little pepper in here as well. I'm gonna put a little garlic. If I had jarred garlic or fresh garlic, I might put that in too, but this is good. You can see the steam coming off of that, right? And I think I'm going to put in a little bit of Italian seasoning because that soup, it really isn't very strong. I can understand why they make it that way because, you know, people's palates are different. Don't you like how I said palate? So, now I was just trying to decide whether I should use this whole can of tomatoes or not, and so I have made a decision that I will use all the tomatoes. I'm going to reserve the can in case I want to add a little water or in case I want to add a little bouillon. I might add some bouillon. But I want these to cook. I'm going to cook on high. Let's see. Need some salt here. A little more salt because I added the tomatoes. Oh, this smells very nice. It smells very delicious. So far I've got my Dollar Tree frozen seasoned blend. I've got 1 can of seasoned diced tomatoes from Aldi. Those are Aldi brand. I put a little smidge of my Dollar Tree olive oil in there. I think, just for the fun of it, I'm going to add in this can here. Hang on. I'm going to throw in a little bit, not a full tablespoon, because that would be the equivalent of 1.5 cups or 3 cups of bouillon prepared. So we probably don't want to go that far. So stir this up. Can you see what that's doing there? Can you? Okay, this is starting to thicken up a little bit. That's nice. Thickening up is good. Now I'm going to add that bit of bouillon in there and water. I pick up this bouillon, by the way, at Dollar General. Dinero General. And it's $2 and something. I like it. I just like it. And plus I like that it's in the powder form and not a cube, because otherwise the cubes kind of drive me a little bit insane. So let me give this a, oh, that's yummy. All right, now I'm going to turn the heat down. I'm going to pour in my can of Progresso soup. And I'm going to pour in my green beans and my small red beans. Don't forget, they're still in a clump of frozenness. How does this look? Oh my gosh, I think I might be really, I think I'm going to love this. I think I'm going to love it. That is very tasty. I'm going to add in a little more pepper. You know, honestly, seasoning is everything. Come on now. It's everything. You have to have some seasoning. You can't just, you know, what's life? You got to have some seasoning in your life. I'm going to add a little more Italiano seasoning, just a little bit. And because I like basil, I'm going to grab some of this sweet basil that I grew a couple years ago. Oh wait, this isn't sweet basil, it's diced celery. We're going to put that in too. It's the ends and pieces of the celery that I dehydrate. It's very, very flavorful. Here's the sweet basil. I'll put a little bit of that in there. And what do you think? Oh, I got a few crushed red pepper flakes, so I'm going to put all those in there. I have to get some more of those. So let's see. Let's see what it is. Now we're going to give those herbs and the dehydrated celery a chance to get familiar with each other. Now, I'm kind of anxious to see. Well, that's pretty tasty. I'm kind of anxious to see how much this yields. Yes, I know I added things to it. I know that. Do you begrudge me that? Do you? Do you really? My neighbor is out hanging things on the clothesline. I have clotheslines in my very small backyard, and she and I share those clotheslines. It works out very nicely. One day she hangs things out, and maybe another day I hang things out. And together we actually put on new clothesline rope this year. It's pretty awesome. Well, That is very good. Very, very deliciously good. Oh, this would be so good with garlic bread, or you could try one of my famous hot dog bun garlic breads. They are awesome. Oh, those are so good. Or how about a cup of this soup with a nice cold cut sandwich with a little lettuce and pickles and on toasted buns, of course, or bread. I eat most of my sandwiches on toast of some kind. All right. So let's see here. Let's see what we got. I'm going to taste it again. That's so delicious. It is so delicious. It's very thick and nice, and I'm loving the extra beans in there. Woo! And those red pepper flakes just hit you at the back of the throat, and it's like, okay, that's spicy, that's good. Okay. Now, this is done. I'm going to put it in jars to keep in the refrigerator, but let's see how much we have. Okay? Want to? I know you're wanting to know. All right. Be right back. Okie dokie. This is the result of enhancing the can of Progresso soup. Remember this can? By adding a few ingredients, this can of soup that was good on its own became this much soup, which is really, really delicious. So that's just a little shy of a full pint there, but basically around 3 pints of soup. Now, and this soup is really good, by the way. It's very, very tasty. So, stop and think about it. This soup can become that 1 can of soup by adding the tomatoes, some seasoned blend, half a can of green beans, and half of a pint of small red beans, as well as a few spices and that 1 little thing of bouillon. That became that soup. The Tuscan white bean soup became this. We didn't try to reinvent it, we just enhanced it. So basically, this is what you have. You have gone from this, we've gone from this, which is 1 bowl, or 1 cup, and we have gone from that to 3 bowls, large servings, or 6 cups, a cup of soup to have with your toasted cheese sandwich. Just by adding those few things. Chances are we already have those things in the house. And you don't have to use the small red beans, you don't have to use the green beans. I think you could use black beans, kidney beans, maybe you've got a can of chickpeas or a can of Great Northern beans. You could add whatever you want to it. And I was thinking of this. This occurred to me while I was filling up the jars. Let me grab this because I want to show you something. Do you remember we talked about taking a couple of meatballs, putting them in the bowl, and pouring the hot soup over them. It occurred to me that these cheese raviolis come from Dollar Tree, and they're $1.25. You could actually just cook up a few of these, or thaw them out, warm them in the microwave, whatever you want to do. Lay a couple of these in the bottom of the bowl and pour this white bean Tuscan soup over the top. And then maybe, hang on, maybe sprinkle on some shaky cheese. I'm just thinking here. Okay? All right. So that's it. I think you should give it a try. Don't be afraid to try these things. And should I call this prepper meal number 2? I did a prepper meal number 2 video, and then I somehow deleted every bit of my footage, so too bad, so sad. So I don't know. Maybe I will call this prepper meal number 2. I don't know. We will see. If not, then don't worry about it. It's fine. So there it is. We took 1 can of soup and turned it into 3 jars of soup, and I think that's very, very good. All right, I love you guys. You know I do. Thanks for putting up with me. You're the best. You know that little is much when God is in it. Look, there's your proof right there. I think this might give you some ideas. This isn't be all to end all or end all to be all. Which is that? It is just something that might give you some ideas as to how you could make your food budget stretch. And whose family would not like this? Whose kids wouldn't like this? Whose grandma or grandpa or somebody would not like this? They would like it. They would enjoy it. It is delicious. So, and it's probably going to be my lunch today. Super Bowl, Cupper Bowl, I just don't know. All right, I love you guys, and I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.